You all know Tesla, right? They make those slick electric cars. You see them gliding down the road, all quiet and futuristic. My buddy Elon Musk, he's the big brain over there at Tesla. Always thinking, always coming up with something new. He looked at all those cars and thought, hey, this electric stuff is pretty good. Then, he looked at the giant semi-trucks rumbling down the highway, and a light bulb went on. A big, bright electric light bulb, I tell ya. He decided, why not make those big rigs electric too? It was a bold move, a real game changer. Now this was a big deal. Most big trucks, the ones hauling everything you buy, they run on diesel. Big, noisy diesel engines. They've been doing it that way for, well, forever. So when Tesla said they were building an electric semi-truck, people were scratching their heads. Some folks were excited, some were skeptical. Could an electric truck really handle the tough job of hauling heavy loads for hundreds of miles? Could it compete with the tried and true diesel trucks? That was the million-dollar question, or maybe even a billion-dollar question, knowing how big the trucking industry is. So, Tesla got to work. They designed a truck that looked like it came straight out of a science fiction movie. Very aerodynamic, very smooth. Not like the boxy trucks we're used to seeing. They called it the Tesla Semi. And let me tell you, when they first showed it off, jaws dropped. It wasn't just talk. They had a real, working electric semi-truck. This wasn't just a small pickup. This was a Class 8 rig, the biggest kind of truck on the road. The idea was to change trucking, to make it cleaner, quieter, and maybe even cheaper in the long run. Think about it, no more smelly diesel fumes, no more roaring engines keeping folks awake at night. Tesla wanted to prove that electric power wasn't just for small cars. They believed it could power the backbone of our economy, the trucks that deliver everything from your groceries to your new TV. It was a huge challenge, but Tesla loves a good challenge. So, what makes this Tesla Semi go? It doesn't have that giant clanking diesel engine under the hood. Nope. Instead, it's got powerful electric motors. These aren't like the little motor in your blender, folks. These are serious, heavy-duty motors, usually 3 of them driving the wheels. They give the truck incredible power and torque, which is that pulling power you need for heavy loads. And here's a neat thing. They're super quiet. You'd hardly hear it pulling up next to you except for the whoosh of the tires. All that power comes from a massive battery pack. I mean, this thing is huge. It's not like the little AA batteries for your remote control. This battery has to store enough electricity to move an 80,000-pound truck hundreds of miles. It sits low in the truck, between the wheels, which actually helps with stability and handling. Tesla is a big shot when it comes to batteries. They've been making them for their cars for years, constantly improving them. So, they know a thing or two about building a battery that's both powerful and reliable. This electric powertrain, as they call it, is actually simpler in many ways than a traditional diesel engine. A diesel engine has hundreds of moving parts, pistons, crankshafts, valves, all that stuff. An electric motor has far fewer. Think about it. Fewer parts mean fewer things that can break down. That could mean less time in the shop for repairs and more time on the road making deliveries. For a trucking company, that's music to their ears, even quieter than the truck itself. And the way it delivers power is different too. Electric motors give you instant torque. That means as soon as the driver hits the accelerator, whoosh, the truck goes. No lag, no waiting for the engine to rev up. This makes it surprisingly quick for such a big vehicle. It can accelerate faster than many diesel trucks, especially when going uphill. Imagine that, a giant semi-truck that's quick off the line. It's a whole new ball game for truckers, I tell ya. Alright, let's talk about what these Tesla Semis can really do. First up, range. That's how far it can go before you need to plug it in again. This is super important for truckers, right? They drive long distances. Tesla offers a couple of options. There's a version that can go about 300 miles on a single charge. And then there's the long-range model that can do up to 500 miles. Now 500 miles is a pretty good stretch. That covers a lot of delivery routes before needing a fill-up or rather a charge-up. And speaking of charging, how long does that take? You can't just wait around all day. Tesla knew this, so they developed something called mega chargers. These aren't your average electric car chargers, these are super-powered chargers designed specifically for these big trucks. Tesla says you can get up to 70% of your range back in about 30 minutes. That's about the time a driver takes for a mandatory break. So, they can plug in, grab a bite, and by the time they're done, the truck is ready for another long haul. Pretty smart, huh? The inside of the cab is something else too. It's not like any truck cab you've seen before. The driver sits right in the middle like a pilot in a cockpit. This gives them an amazing view of the road, almost panoramic. There are two big touchscreen displays, one on each side of the steering wheel. These screens control almost everything: navigation, music, climate control, vehicle information. No more rows and rows of confusing buttons and switches. It's all clean, modern, and very high-tech. And get this, these trucks come with Tesla's autopilot features as standard. This system uses cameras and sensors to help the driver. It can help with things like staying in the lane, maintaining speed, and even emergency braking. It's not fully self-driving, the driver still needs to be in control and paying attention, but it can make those long, tiring drives a lot less stressful and a lot safer. It's like having a really good co-pilot who never gets tired or asked to change the radio station. So how do these newfangled Tesla semis stack up against the good old diesel trucks? Diesel trucks are the workhorses we know. They can go very long distances on a tank of fuel, and there are gas stations everywhere. But diesel fuel isn't cheap, and the prices go up and down. Plus, those big diesel engines need a lot of maintenance, oil changes, filter changes, all that jazz. And let's be honest, they're pretty noisy and they put out a lot of exhaust fumes. We've all been stuck behind one, right? Now the Tesla Semi runs on electricity. The cost of electricity can be more stable and often cheaper per mile than diesel, especially if companies can charge their trucks during off-peak hours when electricity rates are lower. And remember those simpler electric motors? That means potentially lower maintenance costs, fewer parts to wear out, fewer fluids to change. Over the life of the truck, those savings can really add up. Plus, these trucks are quiet. Think of the peace in truck stops and neighborhoods near highways. But the biggest win, folks, is for the environment. This is huge. Electric trucks have zero tailpipe emissions. Zero. That means no black smoke, no nasty pollutants coming out the back. This is a game changer for air quality, especially in cities and along busy trucking routes. Cleaner air means healthier communities, it means less smog, and it helps in the bigger fight against climate change because transportation is a big source of greenhouse gases. Every electric truck on the road is a step in the right direction. So, what's the future look like for the trucking industry? I think we're seeing the start of a big shift. It won't happen overnight, of course. Diesel trucks will be around for a while, but companies are starting to see the benefits of electric. Lower running costs, happier drivers, and a greener image. Tesla is really pushing the envelope here, showing everyone what's possible. It's making other truck manufacturers step up their game too. It's an exciting time, a real revolution on wheels, and it's good for all of us. Cleaner, quieter, smarter trucking, I like the sound of that.